And I think the US right now is continue to push its Indo-Pacific strategy. And at the core of that strategy is actually just like Austin's title of his speech, which is to maintain US leadership or actually US dominance in this region. So the US stated purpose of keeping peace and stability in the region and its real intention of keeping US dominance in the region is actually conflicting with each other, not always consistent. So as sometimes the US might contribute to peace and stability in the region, however, continued US an increasing US military presence in the region and particularly stiff competition with China has not contributed to peace and stability and actually caused worrying and concerns in the region by ASEAN countries and other countries in this region. So again, I don't think that his speech actually give people calm or actually give people confidence that the U.S. will continue to push Indo-Pacific strategy that will be peaceful and giving stability to the region.
Now, there's contradictory perceptions from China and the U.S. on their relationship. Lloyd Austin stressed dialogue with China, but also accused China of not engaging on better mechanisms for crisis management, and also between the two militaries, China would say the opposite. What are your thoughts on this?
Well, from China's perspective, it is kind of inconsistent on the U.S. side because on the one hand, they're calling for more dialogues and establish crisis management mechanisms. However, on the other hand, it seems to us that the only purpose of establishing those mechanisms is for the U.S. to actually have more freedom of navigation or operation in the region, and the Chinese side should keep quiet and not responding forcefully to those kind of activities. So without the U.S. commit to more peaceful and stability in the region and act accordingly, it is hardly the rightful solution to establish those kind of mechanisms. So again, I think without a strategic level coordination between the two sides and without the U.S. recognizing the necessity to actually reduce their activities, particularly close by activities like surveillance and military drills close by to the Chinese shores, then no mechanism can keep peace or keep this region out of trouble.
And Dr. Zhao, where do other countries in the region stand on the U.S.'s Indo-Pacific strategy?
Well, that's a very good question. If you actually listen to the aftermath, the question part of Austin's speech, a number of questions emerged asking him about the contradiction actually between Quad and AUKUS, those kind of small group, newly established small groups, and the ASEAN centrality in the region. And his answer is not satisfying because he didn't explain exactly how to reconcile the new military group and security group in the region and actually ASEAN centrality and ASEAN status, and how to keep ASEAN as a group sort of consistent and comprehensive, be responsible for the regional peace and stability. So actually the rising of this kind of small groups is detrimental to ASEAN centrality, and the U.S. cannot guarantee that in the future ASEAN countries will get united and will not be interfered in their internal political dynamic. And right now, for instance, the U.S. close military relationship and military cooperation with Philippines and other countries in ASEAN is actually separating its foreign policy and South China Sea stance between some countries, maritime countries, and other countries who have different views. So moving forward, I think it's the U.S. responsibility to explain what's the purpose of AUKUS, of Quad, and other military grouping in the region, and exactly how can they actually maintain peace and stability without ASEAN centrality.